Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Running on Scuffs. Um, does something feel off here? Something feel a little bit different?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
There's something different. Look, I can't put my finger on it, but there's something different about where we're at. No, Dan, I see you're pointing to the new logo. I don't think that's it. There's something else that I just can't put my finger on. Um, Hold on a second. Oh, that's right. It's a different day.
Oh yeah.
I knew there was something.
Wait, it
All right.
is.
It look.
Wait,
They
wait,
all
wait,
run
wait, wait.
together for me.
Wait, I haven't been here in a while, but when I left, we were talking about a Tyler Reddick win. And I come
Well, we're
back and we're still talking about Tyler Reddick win. I feel like we're in a time warp. I'm
Some
not
look.
sure
things
I missed
change and
anything.
some things never do.
Yeah,
You know?
look. We're still talking about Tyler Reddick winning, Tom. But we're talking about running on scuffs being on Thursdays now. Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Running on Scuffs. We are here, and it's a Thursday. I know this has been totally different from what Running on Scuffs is used to. Ever since we started going live in 2022, we have been faithful to Monday nights, but some things have happened over the course of our lives and scheduling aspects and some behind the scenes things for the Running on Scuffs brand. Um, and so we just decided collectively as a group that it was best for the brand for us to move our live shows to Thursday, same time, same night, or not same night, same time, same show. We're still talking about a Tyler Reddick win. Same cast, same faces, people you know, people you love. I hope. Uh, but we're all still here. It's just a different night on the calendar. It's a Thursday, so we're now this is our home. At least for the foreseeable future, we're faithful to the Thursday night, and we've got some different things to talk about on a Thursday night than we would talk about on a Monday night. But we're still doing race review. We're still talking about scuff stories. We are going to put a little bit more emphasis on our race preview segment that you guys might, uh, since we're a little closer to next week's race weekend than we were in the past. Um, but with that being said, I am your host, Justin Seeger, at Pit Road Preacher, if you want to follow me. And I am joined by an incredible cast of characters, a couple of which have been with me since that early 2022 meeting. First and foremost, in the top right hand corner, the resident Florida man. I am talking about Mr. Dan Foster. Dan, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Finished up my work week earlier today, so I'm good to go. Excited to hang out, talk NASCAR on a Thursday night. I know it's a little bit of a change for all of us, but you know what? Change is usually a good thing. So I think this is going to be something fun and exciting for us, and kind of change a little bit of things here and there, and do a little bit of a refresh. Why not?
Yeah, it's certainly glad to be here to have kind of a refreshed outlook. One of our other OGs, the self-proclaimed hurricane host of our Homer, certainly he's going to be up for a little bit of chaos. Mr. Mike Daffner. Mike, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. Happy to be joining you guys on Thursdays. As I said to you guys in private, Thursdays work for me about as good as Mondays do. So we'll see how often I make it. But I'm excited for the new night. And at this rate, I don't know when we're going to stop talking about a Reddick win.
Well, you never know. It could be, sometimes songs stay at number one for a while, and you just want to keep playing them over and over again, and then eventually they get old. So, speaking of same song, different verse, the man who mentioned that earlier in the show, our newest cast of character, he's been with us a little while now. You know him, you love him. It's the personality of the show, Mr. Tom Willoughby. Tom, how are you doing?
Hey, that is character with a capital C when you're talking about me. Let's make that sure that's clear. I may not have a lot, but I have character, or am a character, or something of that nature. But let me just say this. Mr. Daffner, this week, we stopped talking about Tyler Reddick wins, but I will inform you guys who's going to win at the appropriate time and segment. I got to build the suspense. But I am telling you, this week, no more Reddick wins. We're talking about somebody different. And I got to brag for a minute. I got to brag. I am an extremely proud papa right now. I got home just about an hour before the show started. I got to see my baby girl, my 13-year-old daughter, Kate. She was in a choir concert and she got to do a solo. It was not a whole song, it was about 30, 45 seconds, and she killed it. She knocked it out of the park, blew me away. I'm so proud of her and so amazed by her. I may also be ordering a maternity test because anybody who can sing that good cannot possibly be related to me. But I am extremely proud of her. She absolutely hit a home run tonight. So, way to go, baby Kate. Proud papa tonight.
That is awesome. We love to hear that. We love getting to know what's going on in our group's lives outside the scenes, off camera, and a lot of cool things going on. Really cool to see. We've got Mama Seeger in the comments as well as our good buddy Mike Hora. It's great to see you guys in the comments. We've got a great show for you guys tonight. Pretty much same rundown as typical. We will get into some things later in the show. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. If you noticed on the intro, we have on a typical Thursday night for us, we will have a new slash old in the producer role.
You can't call her old.
Look, Dan, it's just
Just because she's a little older than you.
look. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay, it's not polite to call Lady old. But we have a new producer behind the scenes. She is not here tonight. Miss Peyton Lohr. She was our producer back in 2022, and she will be with us most nights. But she is currently out, along with our good buddy Logan Morris over at the Racing Angle, currently dealing with some family issues there. So our thoughts and prayers are with them, and we will get both of them on the show in the very near future. So with that being said, let's. I think Dan and I are going to try to kind of bounce back and forth the idea of a producer role here, and but let's hop right into it. Let's get into our race review segment. All right, so we've already kind of gone through the we've gone through the obvious. You've seen the show title. If you're here, we've already talked about where it's still the same. We're still talking about a Tyler Reddick victory. Tyler Reddick has made history, and I like to think certain things like this. There's not a ton of records that we see get set in NASCAR these days, but this one is really cool. Tyler Reddick becomes the only driver in NASCAR history up to this point to win the first 3 races of a season. He won the Daytona 500. He won at Echo Park Speedway, and he has won at Circuit of the Americas the first 3 events of the season. All at pretty what I think a lot of people would call 3 wild card tracks. It's not often you would get 3 winners of any 3 of the same winner at any collection of those tracks, but certainly not the first 3 winners of the season, all being one driver. But Tyler Reddick has made it happen. It couldn't be a better start to the season for him. Tom, I'm going to go to you first because you've been saying we're still talking about a Tyler Reddick win. Give us your thoughts on Tyler Reddick here.
I got to tell you, NASCAR's got to be tired of seeing 2311 win. They lost to him in the courtroom. They're kicking butt on the track. NASCAR's got to be tired of seeing this. But Tyler Reddick has earned it, and it is developing into the feel-good story of the early part of the spring, with him going winless last year, dealing with some very serious health problems from his kid, bouncing back from all that. His kid's now healthy. He's winning races. It is really turning into a feel-good story, and you've got the most recognizable athlete on the planet, Michael Jordan, now showing up to every race because they've got a chance to win every race. That's going to drive, I'm going to tell you, that will drive as much popularity for NASCAR as Taylor Swift was driving for the NFL, because if there's anybody more recognizable than Taylor Swift, it's probably Michael Jordan. So it's like the stars are all aligning here. And I hope Reddick really enjoys this and soaks it all up, because winning streaks don't happen that often. And with what he has been through and what he has had to overcome to get here, I bet he is feeling like he is as tall as Michael Jordan. Even though when you see them together, you could not find a bigger height discrepancy. You can't get them in the same screen hardly. But I bet he is on cloud 9 and feeling like he is as tall as Michael Jordan right now. So it's a feel good story. You love to see this kind of thing, and unless you're NASCAR and you got your butt kicked in the courtroom, but everybody else is loving it. So I think it's great. But all good things must come to an end, and this week it comes to an end.
Yeah, it's incredible when things like this, when history making happens, a true feel good story, especially like Tom said, after the week or after the year that Tyler Reddick had in 2025. He went winless on track. He had personal issues off track. This is truly a historic start to the season for Tyler Reddick. Looking at that, Dan, what are your thoughts on Tyler Reddick in 2311 opening up the season with 3 wins?
I mean, I definitely didn't see it coming. I mean, I don't think anybody would have told us, at the beginning of the season, oh yeah, Tyler Reddick's going to go out and win the first 3 races. I mean, do we think he's going to compete? Absolutely. I mean, he's in top tier equipment at 2311. But I know a lot of people are, kind of saying, oh, well, this, that, and everything else, saying that, they have an advantage. Matter of fact, there's a comment right there from Mike Daffner, the conspiracy theories. But no, I mean, I think Tyler Reddick has shown that obviously road courses, he's been a contender. He's won road courses in the past. He's always been somebody who kind of ran up front at those tracks. And then you have Daytona and now Echo Park Speedway. I mean, they're both kind of wild cards now. So, I mean, am I surprised? No. Did I expect it? Absolutely not. But I'm here for it 100%. Anytime we have new faces kind of becoming one of the front runners or one of the top contenders week in and week out. And I know he won the regular season championship in the past, but I think this is something good for NASCAR, having, Reddick and team basically in championship form so early. And like you said, Michael Jordan coming to every race. I mean, who would bring more people to the track besides Dale Earnhardt himself at this point? Michael Jordan's about the only guy that is going to bring new faces to these tracks, to these races. So I'm here for it. I'm excited. I mean, I would love to see him, continue to, set streaks and records in the series. The more records we can have that gets taken off the board and put a new name up there. Our buddy Logan might not appreciate, records falling, but I sure do. So I'm here for it, and let's see some more.
Yeah, I think that's true. So it seems like a lot of people, and we'll get to this more in our race preview segment. It seems like a lot of people feel like that this is coming to an end, that this hot start, at least as far as wins are concerned, will come to an end at Phoenix. But you never know. Mike Cora said that it wouldn't surprise him to see a Phoenix win. Noah Deal says that the Penske dominance at Phoenix will end the streak. I don't know if Michael Jordan was planning on being at Phoenix, but when he was asked about it, it was certainly like, well, we're going to move some things around. Nike might have to wait a minute and just push that that event back a little bit because Michael Jordan's got somewhere to be in Phoenix. I think Michael Jordan should just bring Nike with him to the racetrack. Like just bring them with. But yeah, it's cool to see a face like Michael Jordan, such a recognizable name in the sports industry at the track. And it really it shows how much he cares about 2311 and seeing them perform. And he gave Denny Hamlin a lot of credit as far as the inspiration and the kind of the planning behind the team. Michael Jordan said, "I just write the checks. I'm just putting up the money." Mike, what about you? What are your thoughts on this incredible start for Tyler?
I mean, the start for Reddick is obviously unmatched. It's never been done before. It is good seeing MJ at the track, though. I don't think I've seen any pictures of sitting on top of the pit box because I don't think he'll fit with how tall he is. Stand up accidentally in the pit box and put his head through the awning.
You would think that those are adjustable.
You would think so, but one thing I wanted to bring up from the race, and it just kind of made me laugh, was Mike Joy when Hocevar spun out. Sounded like Hocevar's car just exploded. Like, he was just... But I saw a video of it, like, stitching it with the previous... Or with the race at Daytona, and the big one happened. He goes, "Oh, this ain't going to be good." Just as calm as can be. And then Hocevar spins by himself, and just sounded like Hocevar's car blew up. Like...
That's a really good point, and I don't know if Mike Joy, obviously one of the best broadcasters in NASCAR today, if not the best currently. But yeah, it certainly at the end of that race, it was like obviously you're watching Tyler Reddick with a 4-second lead on the last lap, and you're thinking, oh well, nothing interesting is going to happen here. And I still don't know if anything that interesting happened, but Mike Joy certainly made it seem like something interesting happened on that last lap. And lo and behold, it would be Hocevar to do it.
Yeah, it's the way he was talking. It's like, what did Hocevar just come from like 20th to second? Like, what just happened?
I thought somebody finally got tired of Hocevar's BS and just kamikazed him into the wall or something. It was like, like something severely significant just happened to him. But anyways, so at the end of the race, Tyler Reddick obviously getting his third straight win to open up 2026. So let's talk about the runner-up. Anytime you come to a road course of any kind, you always talk about Shane Van Gisbergen. You always talk about SVG. But Circuit of the Americas, at least on the Cup level, still eludes him, and currently is the only road course at the Cup level that SVG has raced on that has eluded him as far as his victory goes. And talk about streaks, SVG's streak has ended as with 5 consecutive road course victories. So what is it about Circuit of the Americas that SVG, at least as far as getting the checkered flag, he can't seem to figure out? Is it the track itself? Are we seeing drivers getting better at the road courses in 2026? Or could it be this new road course package? Tom, I'm going to go to you on this one. I think you've got some ideas here.
I just think that maybe it's one track that maybe doesn't particularly suit his driving style or something. If you can call a 10th place last year and a second place this year, subpar performances, but when you won 5 in a row, I guess anything other than first place is. I don't think it's the road course package. I don't think people have gotten any better. I think he's going to be awfully dominant when we hit all the other road courses. I think this is just one that he hasn't quite figured out yet. And maybe it's a little bit different because in a lot of the road courses you go to, the passing zones are also the places where it is the key to making lap times. And those two go hand in hand. And in Coda, the lap times come from getting through the S's, but that's not necessarily where the passing zones are. And maybe there's something in that combination of where you get your lap time at and where you can make your pass, and they don't match up. Maybe that's taken him a little bit longer to figure out. He stays in Cup 2 or 3 more years, I think he'll get a Coda win. I think it's just taking him a hair longer to figure it out than the others. So that's my take on it. I still think we're going to be sick of talking about him by the time the road course season ends, just like we were last year. He'll be in a different time zone in a couple of those places compared to the rest of the field. But I just think it takes him a little bit longer to figure out Coda.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I think eventually he does get that Circuit of the America wins. Eventually, Mike, you mentioned in our private chat off screen here that you noticed that SVG had a lack of lateral grip. So was it just a wrong setup in your opinion, or is that part of the new package?
I think it's a little bit of setup, a little bit of the package. But I also think that part of the issue is if you looked at like his split times that you could see on the front like half of the track, he was faster than Reddick, but that back section of the track, especially through turn 20, it just was, he just didn't have it. I don't know if it's the track or just that back half of the track he can't get through or what it is. But yeah, I mean, he was faster than Reddick through the front half, but you get to that back half and Reddick was just running away from him, especially turn 20. Like, I think on one lap I saw that SVG lost like a tenth and a half just on the turn 20 alone. And it's just like, I don't know. And that might have to do with that not having any lateral rear grip.
That's very possible. And truth be told, Tyler Reddick, this is a track. It should not come as a surprise to anybody that Tyler Reddick got a win. He won here in 2023 or 20, yeah. He won here in 23, and he has finished inside the top 5 at every single Coda race that we have been to in this next gen car. So I mean, he's definitely won here. There's also some other factors that kind of played a role in how this race played out. Number one was pit strategy. We saw Daniel Suarez take kind of have a pit strategy late in stage 2 that ultimately cost him later in the race and cost him a good finish. So it's kind of this, maybe with this new chase format, maybe where do you try to get points and where do you not? Tom, I know you had an opinion on this. What are your thoughts on it?
My thoughts are, Matt Swiderski, Daniel Suarez, what in the hell were you thinking? Okay, your driver qualifies 27th. He advanced all the way to 25th in stage 1. Couldn't gain any track position, but they come up with a strategy of pit with the leaders. So when it cycles out at the end of the stage, he restarts 7th or 8th. And he stays up between 5th and 8th the entire stage 2. So what have we proven here? Now we got track position. We have maintained track position. He's proven he can run with the fast guys. He didn't fall back through the field like a 25th place car. He stayed up there. And so I'm thinking pit with the leaders. Do the same thing. Keep your track position. Run up front all day. You're going to have to split stage 3 anyway, so there's no advantage to really staying out other than collecting a few stage points. He had a chance to run top 5. He was running anywhere from fourth to seventh all through that stage. Why do you not stay with the leaders and stay on their pit strategy and try to keep up there? No, doesn't happen. And then he winds up with a 25th place finish, which is about where he started stage three. So congratulations, Matt Swiderski. You earned your driver a grand total of eight stage points, and then you got a 25th place finish out of it. You could have gotten 30 plus points if you had stayed out. I have no idea what you were thinking. And Suarez doesn't get that many chances at a good run. You got to capitalize on it when you get it. I thought Swiderski completely blew the race for Daniel Suarez. I thought that was the biggest blunder I saw out of anybody all day. And I have no idea what they were thinking. It makes absolutely zero sense to me. So that's my hot take on this one is I have no idea what they were thinking.
Yeah, definitely a missed opportunity. It seems like as far as what could have been for Daniel Suarez, he seemed to have a fast car that could run towards the front, and they just Matt Swiderski just completely missed the mark on that one. There was one other factor that I wanted to point out on this Cup race review. We had some drivers that were under the weather following the race. Alex Bowman ultimately, and we'll talk a little bit more about Alex Bowman in our next segment. After the news that came out earlier today. But Alex Bowman had to get out of the car due to not feeling well. Myatt Snyder ended up hopping in the 48. Eric Jones had a backup driver on standby on Sunday because of Harrison Burton, or with Harrison Burton. And then ultimately, we have, and then even AJ Allmendinger after the race had to get back into the had to go to the infield care center to be taken care of as well, because I think he passed out on pit road after the race. So first true race in the heat. It was pretty cold in Daytona, and it was pretty cool at Atlanta as well. But kind of the heat was back here at COTA, and maybe that got to the drivers. Dan, I haven't heard from you in a moment. What are your thoughts on what happened here at COTA?
Yeah, I don't know what the exact temp was out there, but I do know it was a pretty hot day out there. And with these cars, there's not a lot of airflow. I know they tried to add in those little vents in the back window when they made the next gen car, but overall, I think it was just a hot day. And I know I want to say AJ's fire suit or his cool suit quit working, and then I think there was a couple other ones that had issues as well from that. Now we've learned since then that Bowman obviously was not a heat related issue. That was something else, and we'll talk about that, like you said, the next segment. But I just think overall that it was a hot day. It's early in the year, so maybe these guys haven't had the time to condition as much as they would have in July and August when you're expecting the 90-degree weather. It was just kind of unseasonally warm, basically. And I think there was even with the truck race in St. Pete, there were some guys that were struggling with the heat, which St. Pete's usually pretty warm year round, but it was definitely a warmer weekend here in Florida than what we're used to even this time of year. But I just think that it's maybe not getting all the kinks worked out with the cool suits ahead of time, which I know there's always a chance they malfunction, and that we've had that happen I don't know how many times. But this car specifically is just terrible with getting airflow to the drivers, and then with it being just a little bit warmer than usual compared to our typical races here. I think that just was another contributing factor to these guys that are having such the issues.
Yeah, I think so too. And Mike Cora mentioned in the comments there were a lot of cool suit failures as well. That seemed to be an issue as well. But no. Tom said that he jinxed Bowman by placing a $10 bet on him, which is like giving him the kiss of death. Tom, how could you do that?
If there's one thing that I think Alex Bowman does well, it's road courses. And so I called him as my sleeper. I said he's going to be the guy nobody picks, and he has a great day. And I went and bet a whopping $10 on him that he would get a top 10 finish. And that is like giving the poor man the absolute kiss of death. That is, if I call somebody out like that and then add to it by placing money on it, even a nominal amount of money, it's like getting out the voodoo doll and just start hammering it or something. They have no chance that day. So I take full responsibility for Alex Bowman's woes. I apologize to all the fans. Sorry you're feeling bad, Alex. Clearly my fault. Won't happen again until we go to another road course and I decide to place more money on you. But I take responsibility, Alex. Hope you feel better soon.
Well, I guess then I take responsibility for SVG because I put $5 on him to win.
I'm not putting money on.
Don't do as we do. Don't do as we do.
I work too hard for my money to lose it, because I know as soon as I do that, that's exactly what's going to happen. I'm going to lose it. But that's why I play fantasy where there's there's no money on the line. It's just bragging rights. But yeah, there was a lot of issues on track. Ultimately, Tyler Reddick comes away with the win. Real quick, before we move on to the Scuff stories, just a couple of storylines from the lower series. Shane Van Gisbergen did get a win at Circuit of the Americas this weekend. He did win the Xfinity race at COTA, and what looked like it was going to be a battle between he and Connor Zilic throughout the day. Zilic just kept getting knocked around in both races, really, Xfinity and Cup. So we never truly got to see what he had, what he was capable of there in either. But SVG does pick up the O'Reilly Series win, not the Xfinity, at COTA, and then the Truck Series. Lane Riggs gets a win in the Truck Series debut on the streets of St. Petersburg. So really cool for Lane Riggs. Always cool when you get to do something like that. But let's hop into to our next segment that kind of covers our race review. Let us know what your thoughts were on the race weekend at COTA, and also at St. Petersburg for the trucks. Let us know what your thoughts were. Keep them coming. Before we hop into the Scuff story segment, I gotta mention my grandfather here, Harvey Clements, congratulating us on the seamless transition to Thursday night. Seemed like it's been seamless for us so far. I'm sure we'll have some hiccups down the road at some point, but it's been seamless for us so far, and we appreciate everybody for supporting us along the way. So let's hop into to our next segment. All right, these new segment, they have audio now, which is really cool. So a couple of Scuff stories to talk about, but first and foremost, let's talk about the news story that just dropped today. Alex Bowman will be out at Phoenix due to a diagnosis of vertigo, and presumably it would be largely expected, at least in my opinion, that he would probably be out for more than just Phoenix, if I had to guess. Anthony Alfredo will be driving the number 48 at Phoenix as a backup for Bowman. This is tough. This is tough because on multiple levels, because we've talked about how this is an important year for Bowman. And obviously I assume he'll get a waiver for the chase, but he would still have to find a way into the top 16 in points. and Alex Bowman was struggling to start off the year anyway, uh, and now here he is. Um, I don't know. Dan, what do you think about Bowman's diagnosis, and how long do you think he'll be out, and how does this affect him in a contract year?
Um, I don't. The time frame is kind of unknown because I know people in the past that have struggled with, um, you know, vertigo and stuff like that, and it could be hit or miss. To where one day you feel perfectly fine, and the next day you wake up and you can't even stand up. And it's not something that you could be like, all right, so it's a 3 week healing process. You'll be back to normal week 3. No, I mean it's going to be a day by day. This kind of reminds me of the Casey Kane back in the day whenever he had to take time off, and oh well, he could be back. We don't know exactly how long it's going to be, whatever. And again, it's just one of those things where you don't know. Okay, it's going to be 4 weeks, 5 weeks, whatever. So Hendrick's going to have to look at a long-term solution potentially. He could be out for half the season. He could be out for the rest of the season. We know he's had concussions in the past, so maybe this is some Dale Earnhardt Jr.-esque injury. That kind of set him up for unfortunately having to retire at an earlier age than most people expected him to. I mean, we don't want these of any of our drivers, but we know that this car has had issues in the past, namely Kurt Busch. So again, it's one of those things where they're going to have to play it almost a day by day situation. But I think there was a bunch of contributing factors. I don't think this has nothing to do specifically with COTA or the track or the temperature, the heat, whatever for the weekend. He, from what I understand, just in the middle of the race started feeling the symptoms, the issues, which is why they didn't have a backup driver. Thankfully, Myatt Snyder was there, helping out with the broadcast. But I think overall, this is one of those things where Hendrick's going to have to say, okay, who can we, get, whether it's Justin Allgaier, who's, I'm actually wearing his Daytona 500 shirt, the one of the few actual team shirts that I have. But I mean, you don't know. And so I know this weekend they've already announced it's going to be Anthony Alfredo. Obviously, that's not a Hendrick affiliated driver, but he has made Cup starts. He had a full-time Cup season with Front Row Motorsports back a few years ago. But now that he's kind of in the Chevy camp, I guess he's going to be a kind of a designated sub driver for Hendrick and the Chevy guys. But yeah, I mean, again, we don't know how long it's going to be. We don't know what the timing is going to take. But hopefully it's a speedy recovery for him, and I'm sure the team and sponsors will be happy to have him back as soon as they can.
Tom, what about you? I know that's your comment there. What's your thoughts on the
Anthony Alfredo? Anthony. You look. You got Justin Allgaier sitting there. You got Raja Caruth, who's already up to the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. You have Corey Heim. I mean, my God, if we're going Anthony Alfredo, I mean, let's put Frankie Muniz in there. I mean, what are we? What is the logic? The only thing I can come up with is we're trying to make Alex Bowman look really good by saying, "Gee, look how much better he did than Anthony Alfredo." That's his. I'm thinking this is an Alex Bowman hand-picked sub because he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to make myself look good in this contract year. I'll put Alfredo in there, and he'll get 40th when 37 cars start." So, yeah, that's my. I'm like, wow, did he lose Cody Ware's phone number? I mean, how do we wind up with Anthony Alfredo in there? This makes about as much sense as the Daniel Suarez pit move.
Well,
I'll be
go ahead.
interested to see if the 48 has a Dude Wipes logo anywhere on the car this week. Maybe they threw some money at it to help that out. What were you going to say, Dan?
Well, I mean, to kind of go back to Tom's, comments, you realize it's got to be a Chevy driver because obviously these manufacturers are putting this money towards these cars, to get them, the research
and development. Chevy driver on your shirt, a pretty darn good one.
I agree, and he's attached to Hendrick. Now I don't understand why they didn't go with Allgaier. I feel like he would be the first choice for Hendrick Motorsports specifically with the affiliation with JR Motorsports. But obviously we can't just pull any guy up from O'Reilly series or the truck series. But I mean, maybe this is. I think he is the sim driver for Chevrolet. I think Anthony Alfredo is. So I think that had a lot to do with it. And I think that's why he also has the Beard Motorsports 62 ride that he has, because he is the sim test driver essentially for all the Chevy and Hendrick sim testing.
You know, you got to be. You know who's got to be feeling bad in this situation? Corey Day. Hendrick Motorsports hasn't run an O'Reilly's car full time in how many years? And the first time they do, the driver of that car doesn't get called to be a backup for the Cup Series. Keep in mind, Corey Day's been making some waves in his own right at the O'Reilly level. So maybe they decided it wasn't the right time for him to do that. But
And Dan, you can just call up any driver from any series and give them a start. We're about to prove that in our next story.
You can, but when you have sponsors and manufacturer support, they're going to tell you otherwise. But you're absolutely right, because yes,
Yeah.
you can call up anybody at any time.
Yeah, anybody with the right amount of clout around their name and presumably money to back it up, anybody can get a ride. If you're coming into this, if you're a non motorsports fan and you want to give it a shot, if you're coming from the world of the NFL or the NBA or the MLB, where you have drafts that happen on a yearly basis, you know that in your sport that drafts typically a team will get the best available player, or at least the best available player to fit your team's needs. That's not necessarily the case for motorsports, NASCAR especially. Sometimes it's who has the money behind them to pay for the ride, or just who's going to be a good story. And so it was also announced just a couple days ago that Cletus McFarland will be driving the RCR number 33 NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts car at Rockingham. And this is a part of a 2-year deal with Cletus and RCR that will also see him run the super speedway races as well. Wow. I know Richard Childress doesn't have a dog in the fight as far as the Craftsman Truck Series is concerned, but did he not watch the Truck Series race at Daytona?
Or the ARCA race this year
Apparently
and last year? Or the truck test that he did at Rockingham. I mean,
Mike, you're a chaotic guy. What's your take here?
Why? Like,
Whoa,
somebody,
Mike, hold on.
somebody at
you're-
RCR must be smoking the good stuff, I guess, because what the heck are they thinking?
You're saying that a last place finish in your one and only Truck Series start doesn't pave the way and make you qualified to go jump in an O'Reilly car at the most difficult narrow track on the circuit to drive? I mean, Mike, you're being a little hard on the guy.
Look,
I
of course,
mean, he made 15 laps, 16 laps, before he wrecked. I mean, I think that 15 laps of experience will clearly have him prepared to jump up one series and drive at the hardest, narrowest track on the circuit. I mean, I'm saying you're going to be surprised. I'm going to say he makes it 17, maybe 17 and a half laps this time.
I'm just going to say, overall time wise, I have more time on the track at Daytona as a fan standing there signing the start finish line than he has in 3 races.
I mean, that's fair. Obviously, Tom, it wasn't the last place finish that got him there. It was the wreck that he caused.
Oh,
That's
thank
what
you
it,
for explaining. That makes sense. See, thank you for explaining it.
gone to the Carson Hocevar School of Thought.
That is one of my favorite quotes. I ain't gonna lie. Saying if you cause the wreck, you most likely won't be in it. And then he's like, I caused the wreck, and I was the only one in it.
Obviously, there's a bit of skepticism, to say the least, on our end about Cletus McFarland getting this opportunity. Maybe he can get some track time, and maybe I think what he needs to do is he needs to just like qualify last, drop to the back, get like a second or so off pace, and just drive. Like just drive the car and just learn it, and try to go a little bit better. Here's a story that I actually feel better about, and this is crazy. This came out last week. Toyota has signed Keelan Harvick to a long-term developmental deal. This was a story last week that we missed by being off air. Keelan Harvick, 13 years old, already getting a full long-term, what is presumably the longest-term developmental deal that can be given to someone of that age. And somehow I feel better about that than I do about Cletus McFarland at the RCR 33. What
I
a
think
pick!
Jalen Harvick could go further.
What a pickup for Toyota. I mean, Keelan Harvick has put a lot of time and effort into his young driving career, and now obviously the son of Hall of Famer or soon to be Hall of Famer Kevin Harvick. Really good. I mean, really good pickup, I think. Dan, what's your thoughts on this deal for Toyota?
I'm gonna agree with Dale Earnhardt Jr. on this one. Chevy and Ford dropped the bag. Like they had an opportunity. I believe Keelan was already running Fords in the late models that he was running. So obviously, like, Harvick retired driving a Ford. He's always, the last few years has kind of still been affiliated with Ford to an extent. And they dropped it. They had the opportunity to say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and sign this up and get him. And for whatever reason, it didn't happen. Now, Toyota could have been extremely proactive in this matter. We don't know the full details, but unfortunately for Chevy and Ford, and I mean, and even Dodge, because everyone's assuming they're coming back. But yeah, I mean, this is unfortunately a big step back. I feel like, and Ford to me has not really done well with their developmental program. I mean, you see it. We have 3 full-time Fords in the O'Reilly's Auto Parts series, and like one of those is a brand new team, Hettinger Racing. So I mean, it's like, what are we doing, guys? I mean, obviously Chevy has well over half the O'Reilly's field every week, but Ford has 3 cars. They have, I think, 5 trucks in the truck series. I mean, these manufacturers need to say, all right, listen, Toyota, obviously, they know what they're doing. They end up running out of room for their drivers, aka Corey Heim. So they don't even have a full-time ride. But yet we're going to sit here and continually sign new young talent. Toyota's got the game plan. Chevy and Ford just need to follow it. Like, listen, if you can't beat them, join them. But here we are with, a 13-year-old Keelan Harvick getting signed at least a 5-6 year deal with Toyota Development. So,
one thing that we've been seeing though from Chevy and Ford is a lot of times it's not that they let Toyota develop these drivers, and then they'll snipe them because they have nowhere for their drivers to go. I mean, Noah Gragson, currently in the Ford camp, that was a Toyota driver, and then moved to Chevy, and then moved to Ford. So I mean, a lot of times, you'll have things like that, because I'm already looking at Keelan Harvick being 13, and I think the 11 is going to come open before Keelan gets to that point. I don't think Hamlin has that many years left in him. I don't, unless Briscoe or Bell fall off a cliff. I don't see JGL being willing to get rid of them. I think Corey Heim's future is pretty solidly set in place at 23-11 once they finally tell Riley Herbst that he's out. Did y'all see Riley Herbst at the Daytona 500, by the way, like going up into victory lane and just like, yeah, I know I'm losing my ride next year, but y'all are welcome. Um,
Well,
I
I
don't.
mean, to kind of go back to Tom's point here with Brexton Bush, I mean, if we remember when Kyle Busch joined RCR, RCR gave Brexton Bush a contract saying when you're old enough, you can come drive for RCR. Now the question is Bush still going to be at RCR after this season? Obviously, we don't know the full details of when or where he'll be racing next, but um, I mean, if that's the case, you got to look at Brexton Bush. I know Larson has a son who's getting into racing. I believe Boyer has a son that's getting into racing. Jamie McMurray's son. I mean, you have these, some of them's third, fourth generation race car drivers, but I mean, the stars of 20 years ago, their kids are now coming up through the series. Where are they going to go? Who's going to sign them? So I mean, I think it kind of is opportunity now for Chevy, Ford, Dodge when they come back, Toyota to say, all right, let's go ahead and get these kids 10, 11, 12 years old, because obviously, this is kind of setting a precedent um, for the development deals as far as how young you go back. So I think Brexton Bush is what, 10, 11 years old, maybe? Is he going to be
Yeah.
signing a deal here soon?
You never know. We'll see how it goes in the future. Certainly, it's good for the future of the sport for us fans, because there are young drivers, very talented drivers getting into the sport, and we're really starting to get an idea of who those names of the future could be for us. Speaking of stars, one last story that I wanted to mention. The NASCAR has announced the All-Star race format. They did this early last week as well. I don't even know where to start on this,
Just don't.
and I'm not going to go I'm not going to go much into it because we're already running over on time. But the All-Star race, so there is no All-Star Open anymore. That is to be done with. There's a 350 lap All-Star race that is split up into three segments because NASCAR can't seem to get rid of the idea of segmenting things. The first two segments will have all drivers in this segment. All the drivers will be here for this. Assuming me that 36. Obviously, we'll have at least 36 chartered cars. I assume any of the open cars will be allowed to attempt for this as well.
Plus Cletus McFarland and Anthony Alfredo.
I'm sure they'll be offered a chance to be there as well. They'll be there in the first two segments of this, which is 75 laps apiece. At the end of segment one, the top 20 will be inverted, and then 21st through whatever will be lined up behind them. And then the stage two, they'll get your average finish. Do you remember? What the SRX series did with 12 cars? Yeah, that's what we're doing with 36 now.
That was a good show, but it was 12 cars.
Yeah,
But they put on SRX put on a good show.
yeah. That is true. So that's basically what we're doing with that. Then the final segment here, there are drivers who are automatically locked into this final segment. The 2025, 2026 race winners are locked in. Any past champion that is full time. So Jimmy Johnson is not locked in to this if he were to attempt it.
He's good at Dover.
He is good at Dover. So he would not be locked in. Any full-time previous champion will be locked in. And then I believe any previous All-Star race winners. are locked in as well. So those drivers will be in this final segment. The remaining 26, there will be 26 cars who make it to the final segment, which I think 26 is way too many, in my opinion. It will be determined, as well as your starting lineup in the final segment will be determined by your average finish in the first two segments here, and then however many, if you're 27th on back, you'll be able to take the bus ride home. So all that, all that there'll be a final 200 lap segment at Dover to determine the All Star race winner. And can I just say that is a mess? It's just a mess. First of all, I don't think anybody wanted the All Star race to be at Dover. I know everybody was on board with North Wilkesboro having a points race, but I don't know why it had to be at the expense of Dover. I don't know. I don't think. I don't like where this went. As far as the All Star race goes, I also don't like that we're giving a chance to everybody here. Like, I get we always had the All Star Open, which I was fine with, but like 26 cars, that feels too much for an All Star race. We used to have All Star races that had like 15 or less. Like, let's get back to those days. Make it to where people actually have to earn it, because I feel like if we're taking a step back with NASCAR, we're going back to the chase, we're going back for points racing. Let's make the All-Star race go back to that too. Make it where you have to earn it. Make it where the All-Star. We used to have drivers win races and climb out of the cars and go, "I'm locked into the All-Star race," like it was a big deal. Now it just doesn't seem like the drivers care as much, and why should they? But that's my take on it. Let us know down in the comments what your thoughts are. I want to get other thoughts on it, but we're running low on time, and I want to get to this race preview segment. So without further ado, let's hop into our race preview. Real quick, Mama Seeger commented. She said she is not a fan of the All-Star race format.
I don't understand why we need it to be 350 laps. Like, make it 100 laps max. Like, come on.
I agree.
That's my 2 cents.
Yeah. So we've gone through all the action that happened at Circuit of the Americas. We've gone through our news stories that we've missed over the last couple of weeks. Now we've got a preview. We are now closer to a race weekend than we have ever been for a Runnin on Scuffs live show. Here this weekend we've got Phoenix, and while a lot of times last time we were at Phoenix, I don't know if we were that excited to be there because it was for a championship, and nobody likes Phoenix for a championship weekend. But for the spring Phoenix race, it's just a nice casual. It feels like a Sunday drive. And so it's time for us to settle down. We've had 3 what most people would consider to be wild card races to start off the season. Now it's time to wind things back and just have a nice oval race. No super speedway packages, just Phoenix. So Tom, what are your thoughts? Do you think that Phoenix will be kind of a step back, just kind of dialing it back a little bit, getting into the rhythm of things, or are we going to see chaos at Phoenix too?
I think this is what we're going to see. I mean, most of your NASCAR season is on tracks between a mile and a mile and a half long with varying degrees of banking. That's the core of what NASCAR is. That's what we're going to get back to this weekend. I don't think it will be real chaotic. I am looking forward to seeing if this is the kind of track that we're going to be on all season long, or some version of this. Who's really got the speed on this track? who took a step up in the offseason, who took a step back. I got some strong thoughts on who will win, who my sleepers are, who my winners are going to be. I will say early on, somebody made a comment that Reddick's three in a row comes to an end because of Penske dominance. That's not going to happen. Penske dominates the fall Phoenix race. They don't dominate the spring. So I agree with him that Reddick's streak comes to an end, but I don't think it's going to be a Penske machine that does it. But we're just previewing; we're not picking yet. So that's my teaser.
That's definitely a good teaser. So a lot of people seem to be in agreement that Tyler Reddick's win streak will come to an end. I don't think that's unreasonable there, because I think Tyler Reddick has, as good of a driver as he is, has not shown the greatest moves there as far as Phoenix goes. He had that horrible finish there when he was in the Final Four in 2024. So I don't think I don't think we're far from it. Off of that, with Reddick's streak ending, and ultimately, we've got multiple drivers contending this weekend in Phoenix. So, before we talk about who is going to have a good run, let's talk about who we think needs to have a good run after the first three races. Unless your name is Tyler Reddick, you've at least had one finish that has been not that great to start off your season, whether it be at Daytona or Atlanta or COTA or a combination of the three. There are some drivers who are starting off 2026 with a early points hole to fill here, including some big names. So my question is, who needs to have a good run? Dan, I'm gonna go to you first. Who do you think needs to have a good run?
Well, I mean, if we're looking at the point standings, there's quite a few drivers that are back there pretty far. And again, this isn't the playoffs where you win a race and you're in. You have to be top 16 in points. Some of the names that are pretty high, on the normal list that we're looking at, obviously Alex Bowman and him, missing a race this week. I don't even know if it's even a point to get a playoff or a chase exemption at this point, for being out for a race, because he's already 163 points back. That's over 3 races essentially. And then you have Austin Dillon, who's back there, rookie Connor Zilic, which honestly I would have thought, with COTA being the 3rd race of the season, he would have fared better, but unfortunately he got taken out there pretty late in the race, fell back. Austin Cindric's back there as well. Chase Briscoe, I mean, he's sitting 27th place right now, 140 points out of the lead. So I mean, that's, to me, that's probably the name that I'm looking at the most, being as how dominant he ended up being towards the end of the season last year. So he needs to start kicking it in now, because like I said, it's not win and get in. At this point, it's you're gonna be getting in on points.
Yeah, I agree. I think Chase Briscoe, we see, and as thrown around multiple times. Chase Briscoe, obviously, one of my guys here. He does have a runner-up finish at Atlanta, but he also has a couple of pretty poor finishes as well. So, I think we need to see Briscoe have a good run. All four Joe Gibbs Racing drivers are currently below that chase cut line. Ty Gibbs actually leads the Joe Gibbs Racing drivers in 17th right now, currently 3 points out. So right now, I think if you're Joe Gibbs, you need to have a solid day. Maybe a win would certainly help if you can get Briscoe, Bell, Hamlin A lot of those JGR drivers are good at Phoenix. All three of those drivers have wins at Phoenix. So I think you should see a solid run from them. I'm going to throw one out there that I think kind of on the opposite side of this. Someone who's actually had a relatively good start to their season, and I'm going to throw out SVG. I think SVG has had a solid start to his season. A lot of people came into the season wondering, is SVG going to make the chase? Will he be able to get a top 16 in points? And I think what SVG needs to do here is to just get a solid top 10 or a top 15 and just keep yourself in conversation for that top 16. Because we know when we go to the road courses, he's going to show out, probably going to win a few. He's going to get some points there. He needs to back it up on the ovals and get some solid runs. Tom, I know you mentioned the Briscoe train here. What are your thoughts?
I think Briscoe. Can you guys hear me? Okay, first.
Yeah.
Briscoe, and it's not for lack of speed, lack of talent, but these are chaotic tracks, or you get caught up in a wreck or a mechanical failure, whatever. 36th and 37th, and in a second place finish. He needs a good finish to get himself up there. My sleeper pick though this week is Josh Berry. 2 top 10s at Phoenix in the spring race. And the one time he didn't get a top 10, he was, I don't know if he got caught up in a wreck or mechanical failure, but he was several laps down. So he has a good history at the spring race in Phoenix. So Josh Berry is going to be my sleeper. And Briscoe definitely needs to put together some good runs at tracks where it's more in the driver's control and you're not subject to getting caught up in a 20-car wreck or something like that. So he definitely needs to put together a string of good runs.
Yeah.
Josh Berry's also my pick for this week, and I think he also needs a win because he's back there in the standings, so he needs a good finish.
Yeah, so here's a fun fact, and this just goes to show what Tyler Reddick has done, and also is an indicator of what the points bonus does for you for winning races. There is a 70-point gap between Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace, which are currently first and second in points. There's also a 70-point gap between Bubba Wallace in second and Chase Briscoe in 27th in points. Winning a race gets you a 20-point added bonus. So, at least at this point in the season, it's still early. Maybe a 20-point bonus. We talk about a guy like Briscoe, a 20-point win bonus could jump you up in the standings quite a bit. But certainly a good run for them is what they need. Let us know down in the comments who you think also needs to have a good run at Phoenix. And now let's get into who we think is going to have a good run. We're going to get into our race picks. Tom has made us wait all episode for his picks, and so for that reason, I'm going to go to Tom first because I'm an impatient person and I'm tired of waiting. So Tom, let us know who your picks are for this weekend in the Cup Series, and you can throw in an O'Reilly Series if you want.
So I am going to say the O'Reilly Series. I'm going to go with the guy on Dan Foster's chest. I'm going to go that Justin Allgaier is going to get it done in the O'Reilly Series. Phoenix seems to favor, I feel like, experienced drivers, especially in the spring. So I'm going to go with him. Now, when you get to the Cup, okay, here is some interesting facts. Okay, so Penske, as I said, dominates the fall, not so much the spring. Okay, Christopher Bell has won the last 2 spring Phoenix races. Fun fact, the same tire is used at Phoenix that is used at New Hampshire. Take a guess how many victories Christopher Bell has across all series at New Hampshire.
Oh gosh, across all series?
I'm going to say 13.
I think it's like
not quite that high.
7 or 8.
Close. Seven.
Yep.
So still a pretty impressive number. This track suits him. This tire suits him. Next week, we are going to be talking about a three-peat, just like we're talking about this week, but it's going to be a Christopher Bell three-peating at the Spring Phoenix race. So you heard it here first. Christopher Bell goes to victory lane in the Cup Series this week.
Well, that's been a great show, everybody. I think we'll see y'all next week. We'll just go off of that. And that's
As you will recall, all of my predictions every week from every series have always been 100% accurate.
Wait a minute. Didn't he just say that he gave Alex Bowman the kiss of death?
Yeah, but he bet
That
on
was a
him. He
bet.
didn't pick him.
Okay. We'll go with that. Mike, what about you? Who do you have winning this weekend in Phoenix?
Gonna go with Allgaier in Neo Raps, same as what Tom said. And I know this is gonna get some comments. I got Kyle Busch ending his winless streak. Just for the exact same reason, an experienced driver.
You know, I'm going to throw this out here because I see some faces here. And Mike, I want you to know that I don't agree with you, but I just had a memory pop up into my head that might bode well for you. Back in 2017, there was an RCR driver that nobody expected to win, but ended a winless streak at Phoenix in the spring race. That was Mr. Ryan Newman, if you recall. So RCR has done it in the past. Different car, different time, different era. I get it, but you never know.
This is not the same RCR from 2013, bud.
This was 2017. Okay, so they were
Still,
they were,
same thing applies.
they were pretty trash back then. Like, you know, let's be honest. But so I'm not saying that I agree with Mike. I'm just saying that maybe it's not as far fetched as you think. Tom kind of threw it out there. Kyle Busch does have some 3 top 10s in the last 4 spring races at Phoenix, so maybe Mike isn't as crazy as we think he is.
There's
Dan,
a reason he's a statistician. That's all I'm saying. There's a reason he's a statistician.
I am as crazy as you think, though.
Fair enough. Dan, what say you for your?
I am actually going to disagree with Tom on my shirt. I do think Justin Allgaier will have a great race, but I don't think he's going to get the win. I think it's going to be Jesse Love. He won the championship there last year at the end of the season. So I think he's going to pull it off and have a good race, because that's about the only RCR race or RCR car that's going to go to victory lane, because we sure know it ain't going to be anything in Cup anytime soon. They can only win in the O'Reilly series. So for as far as Cup, another guy who always sticks out in my head, especially the last 3 years when it comes to Phoenix, is the Melon Man, Ross Chastain. Trackhouse, I think, has taken a step forward with having SVG and Connor Zilic and Chastain as the 3 drivers this season. So I think that they're going to again show that Trackhouse is a contender. And I think that Ross Chastain, obviously, he's kind of the most experienced guy on ovals out of the 3. So I think this is going to be his time to come out and shine on a track that's more talent and skill based than ride around and save gas for a little bit. Oh, and then you got to turn left and right in the road course. So I think this is a Chastain style race. And for a dark horse, I think Josh Berry again. This kind of track fits him pretty well.
All right, so good pick there. I like Chastain. I think that's a solid pick there for the Cup Series. For the O'Reilly Series, I'm going to go with a driver who's had success at Phoenix in the past. He's been in the O'Reilly Series for a few seasons now, and I'm going to go with Sammy Smith. I think that he has what it takes to win. He's won there before. He's been there with Joe Gibbs Racing. We've seen him with Junior Motorsports the last few seasons, so I think Sammy Smith can get it done there. And for the Cup Series, I'm actually I'm gonna make you happy, Tom, even though I'm disagreeing with your take, because I think that Penske does show up in the spring race here. And I think we see Mr. Ryan Blaney get a win in the spring race, and he's the one who ends Tyler Reddick's win streak. So Tom and I are rooting for each other here, and we did not make a deal for that before it happened. Tom, I'll slip you the cash off screen here, just so you know. But now
Maybe
we've
by PayPal.
yeah. Uh, but no, let us know who your race picks are for this weekend in Phoenix. I think we'll see kind of a calmer race, maybe kind of back to the basics, if you will, and kind of back to what we're used to seeing on a typical NASCAR Sunday. I want to thank everybody for watching. It's been it truly wouldn't be an episode of Running on Scuffs if we didn't go a little over on time. Hopefully, when Peyton gets here in future weeks, she'll be able to control us a little bit better on our time management. But we want to thank everybody for watching. We want to thank everybody, especially for this transition to Thursday nights. This wasn't an easy decision for us to make. It wasn't something that we came about lightly. We know that it's something that it's something that we thought about really hard before we did this, because Mondays have been our kind of our groove for the last 4 or 5 years, going on 5 years now. So, but we decided that in order to stay on air consistently, we needed to make a change. So here we are on Thursday nights. We're glad that you all decided to join us, and we hope to see you all for many, many more race weekends throughout the 2026 season and beyond. If you're not already, be sure to follow us on Facebook, our Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of our social pages as well, and then check out our website as well, which we'll be going through updates throughout the course of this month. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you all next week. Let's get some closing comments. Tom, you can send me that PayPal, by the way, whenever you get a chance. Tom, what say you for your first ever Thursday night closing comments?
For my first ever Thursday night comments, I am going to reward the people who have stuck with us all the way to the end of this show. I'm going to give you one more nugget, because we know I am the prognosticator of all prognosticators. My picks have always been 100% accurate. So I am going to reward those viewers who stick around with one more, actually 2 more nuggets of wisdom. Although Christopher Bell will win the race, if you are playing fantasy, don't overlook William Byron and Tyler Reddick. Don't always finish well, but rack up tons of stage points and walk away with a big old point stay at the end of it. Both of them are averaging over 42 points a race in the spring race without winning it. So Byron and Reddick, look at them if you're trying to round out your fantasy lineup with good points days. So that is my closing comments. And go Ryan Blaney. Notice I didn't pick him because I didn't want to jinx him.
That's a great ideology there, Tom. Mike, what say you for our resident hurricane?
Always happy to be back talking NASCAR with you guys. Same chaos, different night. I mean, looking forward to the future and looking forward to Kyle Busch getting back in victory lane this weekend, and raise hail, praise Dale.
Yeah, we look forward to it. Dan, what say you for your closing comments?
I first want to say thank you to our viewers that stuck with us, and obviously last week we didn't want to miss having a show, but unfortunately we had things that came up and changes that had to be made, unfortunately. But no, I think I'm excited for the next the rest of the season, essentially, with the change to Thursdays. It kind of fits my schedule a little bit better. I don't have my B meetings on Thursday nights, so I will be here pretty much every Thursday night, unless I've got time for my birthday or something. But at the moment, my Thursdays are freed up, so I'm excited. I can't wait to talk NASCAR with you guys 5 weeks a month, pretty much every week. So and like Justin said, this was definitely a decision that was not easy to make. But we appreciate everybody who stuck with us and kind of rode the roller coaster with us. But what we're getting to the groove of things. This is going to be where we're going to be at for a bit, and I think it's going to be a fun change and exciting for all of us. So I'm ready for a weekend at Phoenix, and 33 more race weeks.
Yeah, 34 if you count the Dover All Star race. Unfortunately, maybe you don't count that, and I understand.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're super glad for everybody that stuck with us. Thank you to Mike Hora and Mama Singer for the kind comments there at the end. We appreciate having you guys with us. We appreciate everybody who has tuned in tonight. Those of us who have stayed in touch with our social media pages over the last week or so, and everybody who is going to tune in for the remainder of 2026. We look forward to it. This has been a great first episode on Thursdays, and we look forward to this new home for us on the calendar. So we look forward to seeing you guys next week, and yeah, we'll see you guys to talk about Phoenix. See you guys later.